Let's,
Good afternoon. I'm Doc Haggar. I am the Ouray Alchemist in beautiful Ouray, Colorado. This is my private museum. It's a history museum of drugs. I am have a pharmacy background, and I give lectures on how drugs came about in the world and how they travel. I want to give you a story right now of a fascinating story that happened in the world. You wouldn't believe it or not, but maybe you do. You see, first of all, in the world we have a drug known as opium. It's called God's drug. And it really started from the very first civilization for the Mesopotamia. But eventually it works itself through the planet to a place called China. And we can thank the Persians for that because they fed the Chinese opium for 300 years. So that means that opium now is in China. At this point in the world, China has something the world would like to have, and that is silk. And so, since China wants to make some money, well, first of all, they have to have a god they believe in. And of course, that's the dragon. It's the water god. It watered their rice paddies. It flourished the civilization. They went on to make silk, what the world wanted. See, they can't sell the silk in the world or anything else, let alone the opium and whatever else to come, because they can't. The Persians control the oceans. So they had a trail known as the Silk Road, and they will go ahead and sell the silk on the Silk Trail. And in fact, they're going to sell lots of things. They're even going to sell the opium now that they have it. And by the way, they're going to sell ancient Chinese secret. Well, that's going to be the Spice Islands. They're going to sell the spices and the teas. And then they're going to sell probably the fifth most valuable thing they do sell. And it's called the Red Barbarian. Yes, the Red Barbarian is the fifth most valuable thing the Chinese will sell. It goes on the Silk Road. By the way, this whole area is larger than the surface and the moon. And it's on the Silk Road. It now gets into Russia. They planted this in Russia. It is officially called the Russian route. When it gets to the Middle East, it's called the Turkish route. And eventually, it makes itself all the way across the ocean in the 17th century. Before I tell you what it is, let's take it on the trail. By the way, while the Chinese are traveling the Silk Road, they sampled their own product. That's it right here, opium. If you take the opium and don't get enough water, well, you're going to get plugged up. You're going to need the fifth most valuable thing. You see, it's eventually going to be called rhubarb. Yeah, it's the fifth most valuable thing. By the way, when they travel on the Silk Road, you better take your drugs with you. As far as the miners here in the Rocky Mountains, well, we'll just take our stuff inside of shotgun shells into the mines. When you travel down the Silk Road, you're going to wear the rhubarb around your neck because you need to take a poop. You see, it's a laxative. Most people think it's for rhubarb pies. No, it's a natural laxative. That's why they planted it out throughout the world. It's not because of pies. And it comes across the ocean here in the 17th century. And 200 years later, we planted all the way across America rhubarb. It's a laxative. By the way, when it comes across the ocean, see, this is Chinese rhubarb. We're going to call it American rhubarb, and this is what it looks like, folks. Eli Lilly made rhubarb. Yep. So imagine this. This is in the middle of winter in Ouray. You can't afford a doctor, so as in today's world, if you can't afford a doctor, well, we have WebMD. Yeah, you can self-diagnose yourself all day long. If not, the doctors actually wrote a book, and you can self-diagnose yourself. Oh my God, Ethel, you're plugged up. You need rhubarb. By the way, it's December right now in Ouray, and there's no rhubarb. And therefore, you will go to the apothecary and buy rhubarb, and you can make your own laxative. By the way, there's more stories that go along with this. I hope you come and see the Ouray Alchemist. I have lots of stories, and you have a great day.